It means 11 is less than or equal to 10? No. The given condition is false. Then the result is not printed and you can see the table of. But in this example, we take multiplier and counter as a fixed. But suppose if you want to take any multiplier from user side, then you can say multiplication table using user defined while loop. It means the previous loop is basic while loop. In general, the table is printed up to 10. But if you want to print customized table, then you can set as input multiplier input, enter the multiplier, start one, end. It means, have you remember the start point of while loop and end point of while loop and steps? You start from 1. You can start. If you enter here from 2, then always your pointer is start from 2. And end is means where you want to end this. While start is less than or equal to end, the value of end is 5. Suppose in case once the enter the multiplier is prompted at your screen, then you enter 5, enter the multiplier value 5, enter the range and enter the range and 5. It means the multiplier is also 5 and the range is also 5. It means only 5 numbers are printed on table. Start is end like this. Now I demonstrate the while loop. The first program demonstration of while loop, I equal to 1. I start from 1. While I is less than 6. The first program print I, the value of I, print I plus equal to 1. It means I, the value of I is increased by 1. Just execute this program. You can see the output. When you getting the output, it is up to 5. If I increase it up to 10, then the output increase up to 9. Can you tell me anyone why here I write the 10, but only we get the output up to 9? 1 2 3 4 5 up to 9. Why? Because of we use here the less than operator. I when I become 10, the condition also check, but the given condition is false. If we use here less than equal to, then same program generate the output up to 10. You can see if we remove the equal to operator, it generates up to 9 output. But when we use equal to sign, then the same program generate 10 output. Why? Because of 10 is equal to 10, and once we use the less than operator only, then it check only the less than, not equality. The second program, if I want to break, then if I equal to 5, suppose, then we use break. Now check the output, only 5. If I set here the I equal to 3, only 3 output we getting, and remaining after whenever the if given condition is true, the break statement execute, and once a break statement execute, it means your execution pointer is exit. from the loop. Clear? The next program. The next program, we are trying to print a multiplication table. Suppose if you want to try print a multiplication table, first take a number equal to suppose 5. It means you want to print a table of 5 and I equal to 1, while I is less than or equal to 10, means it goes up to 10. Print result equal to I into number, and then print I plus, we need to convert it into string I plus string number plus string result. I equal plus equal to 1. 1 plus 5, we should also put here into sign. Plus plus equal to sign. Also we print some space with date. Now 1 into 5, 5, 2 into 5, 10, 3 into 5, 15, up to 10. Suppose if you want to take this number from user side, if you want to take the number from user side, then we only change, if you change number 7, then see the result. Now it prints the table of 7. Once I change the number is 9, then it prints the table of 9. But if you want to take this number from user side, then you have to take integer value, input, enter any number. It should be in double quotation. Enter any number. Now run. Enter any number. Suppose I enter 8. Then you can see the table of 8 is generated. Again, number 7. Hit enter. The table of 7. Suppose if you want to also set value, starting value from user side, then you can take also ask to user what will be the starting value, and end value also you can ask to user what will be the last value or the stop condition. Okay, The next loop is for loop. For loop is a also iterative statement over a sequence. It means it is generally used for list, tuple, dictionary and set or a string. Suppose for example, if you want to access or if you want to use all characters of a string one by one, then it is a sequence. The for loop is Python or a special type of loop. It's a special type of loop that is used for sequential traversal. Traversal means accessing, retrieving of elements one by one from first to last. That is known as traversing. For example, print each fruit in a fruit list. Suppose you have a list of fruits, for example, apple, banana, cherry, and you want to access, if you want to traverse, if you want to retrieve one by one all these fruits, then you can use for x in fruits, print x. So you can see the output apple, banana, cherry, one by all these three fruits are in a list, and for loop retrieve for x in fruits means x is a variable in which it takes one by one elements from the list and print the value of x one by one. Now the break statement, as you know very well, the break statement is also used to the break statement is also used to stop or terminate the loop even the given condition is true. Suppose for example, the if you want to stop the for loop when banana found in a list, whenever we found the banana, then the remaining list will not be printed. Only the list printed up to starting from first element to whenever we get the banana. Once the banana is get by the variable, then it is stopped. For x in fruits, print x. If x equal to banana, then break. You can see the output apple, banana, cherry is also present in the list, but it is not printed. Why? Because the loop is breakdown in between, or you can say when the x is getting banana, then the loop will be breakdown or break. The range function. This is very important function. It is only used with the for loop. To loop through a set of code a specified number of times, we can use the range function. It means if we want to repeat, we want to perform a loop for setup code to a specific number of times. It means suppose if you want to print predefined like 20 times or 10 times, then the range function is very common and very popular and very suitable for this. The range function return a sequence of numbers starting from 0 by default. It means uh, I hope you know very well the loop start from 0 always by default if we are not providing any starting value. Remember one thing, remember the working of loop start, stop and step. It means start means from where your loop will be start, stop where your loop will be stop, and steps how many increments are take place in between the loop jump from one step to next step. Syntax range start means the initial value of the variable, initial value for the loop. Stop means last value of the loop. It means whenever we catch the value, stop value, the loop will be stop or the loop will be terminated. And step is the increment or decrement, as we already discussed. Parameters: start value of the sequence, stop next value after the end value of the sequence, and step optional. It is both are optional, only stop value is mandatory. Integer value denoting the difference between any two numbers in the sequence. It means first number and second number and how much difference between them. 2, 3 are like that. What is the use of range function in Python? Now it is very common question in your mind. So what is the use of the range function in Python? Then we can say in simple term, range function allows the user to generate a series of number within a given range. If suppose different type of series, suppose for example, if you want to generate the series of even number, all even numbers in between 0 to 100. If you want to generate the list of series of odd numbers between 0 to 100, then the range function is very useful and very common. Depending on how many arguments the user is passing to the function. Range is a function, so it also accepts the arguments, parameters, and is the start optional and the step is also optional. Then user can maybe provide the start value or not. Optional means user can maybe provide or not. If the user not provide, then it is automatically taken as 0. If the step is not provide, then automatically by default it is a 1. So on the basis of number of parameters or number of arguments passed or provide to the function, the range function initialize in different three ways. You can initialize a range function in following three ways. Range, the first one is range and only one parameter provided with this, that is stop. It means in this type of function calling, in this type of function, the value of start and the value of step are treated as by default. What will be the value for by default value for start? That is 0. And what will be the value for by default value for step? That is 1. So it prints the sequence from 0 to whatever the provide stop value, and the difference between first and second value is 1. The second one, range function start. Now in this type of calling we provide two values, one is start and another is now in this type the start value and stop value is provided, takes two argument. It means start value whatever you provide and stop value whatever you provide, but the third one, that is step. Step is taken as default and default value of the step is 1. So it print the sequence of series in between start value and stop value, and the difference between two number is 1. The third one is all these three parameters, that is start, stop and step, takes three argument, and the value of start you have to provide, value of stop you have to provide, and step value is also provided by the user. And according to this, the range function print the sequence. Now we will discuss one by one all these three type of function one by one. Python range first. Python range stop. It means in this type of function call, user provide only one argument. That is the value of stop variable. get a series numbers that start from 0. It means the by default value of start is 0 and includes every whole number in between up to the stop value. But here remember one thing, the whatever the stop value you provide, it is not included. Have you remember when we print function from value from 1 to 10, then the value is printed only from 1 to 9, not printed 10. It means the 10 is not included in the range. 10 is, you can say, the 10 is out of range. So here the number that the user has provided as the stop is not included in the range. For example, Python, if you provide range 6, it means the value start from 0 because of the default value of start is 0. You only provide the one value, that is 6, and 6 is value for either start or stop or step. But if you provide only one value, then Python compiler automatically treated it as a stop value. So Python compiler automatically takes optional value, that one is start value and the step value, and the by default start value is 0 and the by default step value is 1. So you can see the output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. It prints the value from 0 to 5. The stop value is 6, so it is not included and it is not printed in a list. For example, you can see print first 6 whole numbers for I in range 6. Print I. Here I use a AND. AND means if we are not using this AND, all these values are in a list one by one. If the list are divided into vertical, then it is AND. Suppose if you want to print one by one, it is number 0, 1, 2, 3 in a single row, then you have to use AND with every print statement, AND with line break. If we don't use this, then the printer always print the line break. But if the we use this, it means always the print statement end with the blank space. You can see the a single blank space in between all these numbers. The second function call. In the second function call, we provide two values. One is for start value and another is for stop value. In this same start value is 0. In this example, you can see the start value provided by user is 0 and the value provided for stop is 6. It means this function raise function start from 0 and goes up to 6, but 6 is not included, so 6 is not printed. The user gets to decide not only where the series of numbers stops but also where it starts. So the user doesn't have to start at 0. It means if the user provide the value for start, it means it is never always, it is not start from 0 always, all the time. User can use range to generate a series of number. It means user try to generate a series between x to y. It means the starting value is x and the end value of y. But keep in mind the x value, whatever you provide for the x is included in the series, but the value of y is not included in series. So you can see if we provide 0, 6, it means start from 0 and move up to 6 one by one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. For example, here we take an example. For I in range 5 to 20, it means we are trying to print the numbers between 5 to 20, and we are not provide the step value. That's why the step value is automatically treated by default, and the by default value for step is 1. So 5, 6, 7, you can see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, up to 19. 20 is not printed. Why? Because of, you have remember, the 20 is not included. Whatever we provide the stop value in range function, the stop value is not included. It is excluded from the range. So only up to 19 it will print. The third one, this is the perfect function. You can say this one is perfect range function in which all the three values are provided. One is start value, another is stop value, and the step value. When the user call range with three argument, the user can choose not only where the series of numbers will start and stop, but also how big the difference will be between one number and the next number. It means the user also decide what will be the first value, what will be the last value, and what will be the difference between first and second value, or you can say the first term and second term difference between them. If the user doesn't provide a step, then range will automatically behave as if the step is 1. In this example, you can see in this example we are printing even numbers between 0 to 10. Means start value is 0, end value is 10, and we are going to print the even numbers. Even numbers means 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like this. How much difference between first even number and second even number is 2. 0, 2, 2, 4, 4, 6, 6, 8. It means the difference between two terms or difference between two numbers is 2. So we have to provide the step value as 2. The first value 0, 0 plus 2, the next value, 2 plus 2, the next value, 4 plus 2, the next value, and 6 plus 2, the next value, and 8 plus 2, the next value. But the 10 and stop value is also, but stop value is 10, and the 10 is also calculated from the loop, and 10 is not included in the range function, so 10 is not printed. The next value is 12, and it is out of range. That's why only the range function print values from 0 to 8. 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. These 5 values are printed in between 0 to 10. For example, if you want to print 0 to 10 even numbers for I in range 0, 10, here the 0 is start value, 10 is stop value, and 2 is a step value. It means the difference between first and second value is 0 to 10. Here you can see the 30. 30 will be the start value. Now, the next one is Python range function using negative steps. Have you remember the flow chart of the loop? Once I explained you the flow chart of the loop. In loop, increment and decrement is also mentioned. It means if we move forward, then we use increment, and if we move backward, then we use decrement. If a user want to decrement, then the user needs a step to be negative number. For I, suppose you start from, not you always you start from 0 or 1. You can start from 50, and goes up to 1, it means reverse number. Suppose someone asks to you print numbers from 50 to 1 in reverse order. Then in that case, you use a range function using negative step. For I in range, 25 is the starting value, 2 is the end value or stop value, and minus 2 is the step value. So you can say 25, 23, 21, 19, 17, 15, 13, 11. It means if you want to print odd numbers from 25 to 2, in between 25 to 2, you can see the range or the list of odd numbers printed here in between 25 to 2. Now, some examples for loop. Basic examples. Suppose for a Python program to count the total number of digits in a number. Suppose someone provide you a number 129475 and ask to you just count the number. How you can count? Here we prepared a program for the counting of digits in a given number. The given number is 129475. So if you want to use for loop, first we convert it into a string, because of now it is treated as number. But if we use a range function, then we can convert it into string. Given number, declare a variable to store count. The count is a variable to store the counter equal to 0. Initially we set count to 0 for I in given number. It means I in given number 1 2 4. I in given number means the for loop get the numbers one by one from the given list and increase the count value by 1 every time. First it take 1, second time 2, third time 9, fourth time 4, 5, fifth time 7, and up to last. And every time when it gets the number, it counts the value or increase the value of count. Print the total count at the end. At the end you print the value like output. You can see the output is 6 and you can count 1 2 3 4 5 6. There are 6 digit in given number. So with the help of range function, you can also provide or you can also calculate this type of counting. Now I will demonstrate to you the for loop one by one. First for loop, first we create a list of fruits. Apple, banana, comma, cherry. Next for I in fruits, print I. You can see the output. All the fruits are printed one by one. First apple, banana, cherry. You can see the output. If we use the break function. Then the same code we write again here, and if I equal to string banana, then break. Again, you can see the list is same, but in previous example, all three fruits, apple, banana, and cherry are printed. But in this example, only apple and banana is printed, not cherry, because of once the banana is encountered, then the loop is terminated, loop is break. Now, the range function. The next one is range function. How you demonstrate the range function? Suppose, for example, if you want to print for I in range, how many parameters passed in range? There are three parameters are required. One is start value, another is stop value, and the third one is steps. Suppose we pass only 5. It means we are trying to print numbers from 0 to 5. We are trying to print numbers from 0 to 5 and print I. You can see the output 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We provide here the 5, but 5 is not printed. Why? Can you tell me anyone why? Because of the 5 is not included in the range function. If we provide two variable, 1 comma 5, it means now the sequence is start from 1. In this, the by default value is 0 for start, but if we provide some value, then the loop always start from the provided value. If you are miss the value or you are not provide the value, then by default value is taken. But if you provide, then only consider the provided value. You can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. Start from 1, 0 is eliminated because of 0 not in range. Your range start from 1 and goes up to 5. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 5 is not printed because of 5 is not included in the range. Suppose if you are trying to print a list of odd numbers from 1 to 50. If you print all numbers 1 to 50, then you can see the numbers are printed from 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 50. But if you write here the 2, 2 means step. Now the difference between first and second number is 2. You can see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. All these odd numbers are printed in between 1 to 50. The 2 is decide the difference between first term and the second term or next term. You can see clearly the difference between 1 and 3 is 2, 3 and 5 is 2, 5 and 7 is 2. Each term have difference 2. Okay class, the next topic is Python nested loop. Now, nested means all of you know very well. Nested means whenever a loop within a loop or a loop inside another loop is known as nesting. In Python programming language, there are two types of loops, which are for loop and while loop. Using these loops, we can create nested loops in Python. Both the loop are support the nesting of loops. Nested loops means loops inside a loop. For example, while loop inside the for loop inside the loop for loop is known as for inside for loop or nested for loop and nested while loop when the same phenomena is performed with the while loop. Now we understand the working of nested loops. You can see the diagram. For I in range 2, first in the nested loop always there are two loops. One is outer loop and another is inner loop. Outer loop is executed each time and inner loop is completely executed for a single value of outer loop. Once first execute the outer loop and then execution pointer enter into the inner loop. Inner loop completely execute and then after the update the value of outer loop. Again enter into inner loop and execute completely and again update the value of outer loop and same phenomena takes place until the outer loop executes completely. It means we can say the inner loop repeat multiple times or repeat completely until the outer loop execute completely. It means the inner loop execute always or completely execute for a single value of outer loop. Here is the one example is taking here and the output you can see here. For the value of 0, the value of outer loop, it start from 0 and goes to up to 2. Print I, it print 0, then enter into nested loop or inner loop. For j in range 10 to 13, it means start from 10 and goes up to 13, and 13 is not included, that's why it only print value the 10, 11 and 12. 0 is print the print value printed by outer loop. 0 is printed by outer loop and 10 print 10, 20, 11, 12. These three values are printed by the inner loop. Again, the value of outer loop increase 0 by 1, it means 1. 0 plus 1, that is 1. Now the print 1 printed value by outer loop, that is 1. Again same loop repeat 10, 11, 12. You can see the both the three values are printed by inner loop and both the single values 0 and 1 only printed by outer loop. So using this flowchart you can understand the working of a nested loop. We can implement nested loop for while and for also. Python nested loop syntax. Python nested loop, how we can write the nested loop. As I mentioned you, out in the nested loop, there are two loops. One is outer loop and another is inner loop. You can see here outer loop expression. You can write here the outer loop expression or condition. Inner loop expression within inner loop, and you can write here the inner loop statements inside the inner loop, and once inner loop get executed, after that outer loop execute the statement and then go to the loop expression and repeat same process until the outer loop get executed completely. Python nested loop example. Now we can see the simple Python loops or nested loops examples. Example 1, basic example of Python nested loop. You can see here the value of x 1 2, value of y 4 5. Now you want to print the value of x and y for I in x, it means 1 and 2. For j in y, print I and j. It first print x I value, then j value, and it repeats 4 times. 2 into 2, 4 times. You can see the output. X equal to 1 2. It get first 1 from x, go to for j in y, 1 4, first combination 1 4, the second combination 1 5. Again this will loop is expired, go to outer loop, it gets second value from the x that is 2. Now the value of I is 2. Again enter into inner loop. 2, the combination for 2 is 2 4 and 2 5, both are the executed. So you can see here the execution, complete execution of inner and outer loop using break statement in nested loop. In the break statement, as you know, we can use break statement in simple loop with for loop as well as while loop. So can we use, one question arise here, sir, can we use break statement in nested loop also? Yes, you can use break statement in nested loop also. It is a type of loop control statement. Break statement is also known as loop control statement. If once loop start execution, then if you want to stop the execution in between until the execution is our loop is completed, in between if you want to stop the execution, you can use the break statement to stop or to exit from the loop. It is a type of loop control. In a loop we can use the break statement to exit from the loop. Why we use break statement? So we can say to exit from the loop. When we use a break statement in a loop, it skips the rest of the iteration or terminate the loop. It means the whenever the break statement is encountered, the execution is terminated at that time, and remaining all the remaining iterations or repetitions are not executed. You can see an example, running outer loop from 2 to 3 for I in range 2 to 4. It means start from 2 and goes up to 4, but 4 is not included, so it execute 2 times. First value is 2 and the second value is 4. Printing inside the outer loop. Now we print the loop outside our outsider loop, our outer loop, running inner loop from 1 to 10. Now inner loop execute from 1 to 11. If I equal to j, once the value of I is equal to j, is matches equal, then break. Otherwise print the statements. Remaining statements are printed. You can see the output. Only 2, 3 and 6. Output only print here 2, 3 and 6. Value is 2, 3 and 6. In I into j. I into j means 2 into 1, 3 into 1, and in remaining cases, whenever the value of I is 3 and the value of j is 3, then the condition is true. The condition is if I equal to j, the condition is true. In that case, the break statement encounter and our loop is terminated. Our loop is exit from the loop. Now, some Python nested for loop examples. Suppose the following program uses a nested loop for loop to iterate over month and days list. If you want to list out the weekdays according to month, then you can use a Python nested loop. In the program, you can see there are two lists. One is month list. In this example, we only taking 3 month: January, February, March, and days only 3 days: Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. For X in month, the first loop taking every individual value from month. For example, first it takes Jan, Feb, and March one by one, and print according to the month, the print all days. And the second loop, it means inner loop, take the values from days one by one, and once the days is completed, then again the outer loop, that is X, take another value from month. For X in month, first take Jan and take from days Y, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. After completion of complete loop, it prints the goodbye. You can see the output. First three values are combination of Jan to 3 days. Second output is combination of all 3 month Feb with all 3 days: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If and the third one, the March month with all the threes. If you consider all 12 month, then you can create a complete list with all 12 month and all 7 days. So then you can create a list with all 7 days with the list here. Now the second example, Python nested while loop. We can create, as I already said, that the nested loop is used with for loop as well as while loop. Both the loops are support. Now, in this example, we want to create the following program: use a nested while loop to find the prime numbers from 2 to 100. We want to list out the prime numbers in between range from 2 to 100. Prime number is what? Prime number is a number which is only divisible by either 1 or itself. That's why we're taking number from 2 to 100. The number first list is generate from 2 to 100. The list is goes up to 25. I equal to 2, while I is less than 25, j equal to 2. If the division by I and j is 25. Why it takes 25? Because of list is always goes up to 50, and the half of the 50 is 25. That's why we take it 25. And you can see the output here: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23. All these are prime numbers in between 2 to 100. Now we execute the program one by one. The first program is for I in range 2. Print I. We execute complete program one by one. All the examples. Print I. Then for j in range 10, comma 13. Print j and execute the program. Run the program. You can see the output. You can see the first output as I showed you in this example. So the same output is printed here. The first example. Now the second example. If we create two lists x equal to 1 comma 2. The second example is x equal to 1 comma 2, y equal to 4 comma 5. There are two lists, one is x and another is y. X contain 1 and 2, y contain 4 and 5. Now the program is for I in x, for j in y, and print I comma j. It print the value for both. Now execute the program. You can see the output 14152425, and you remember the output here. The same program, the basic nested Python loop is 14152425. This is the actual output, and you can see here the program code. Now the third program is print for this. The program for I is in range 2 comma 4, print inside code. For j in range I equal to j, break. Otherwise, the example of this program is demonstration of break statement. You can see